Hello and welcome to Sports News Africa, the home of Africa's sporting conversation. Let's take a look at the headlines. Will Nigeria still be in the qualifiers? They've just beaten the world #1 Australia. Is Zimbabwe's cricket on the up? Or is this the time for the new look Cameroon? Thank you for joining us on Sports News Africa. I'm Angela Agor. This Friday will mark the beginning of the 2015 Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers, and after a lot of speculation about bans and forfeitures, it looks like the stage has been set for the qualifiers to go ahead, and the teams are getting ready to get their campaign underway.
The 2015 Africa Cup of Nations group qualifiers begin Friday after a build-up dominated by the deadly Ebola epidemic and FIFA threats to ban defending champions Nigeria. Guinea, a West African country at the epicenter of the Ebola crisis, have been forced to move a home fixture against Togo to Morocco. And only a late U-turn by the Ivory Coast government allowed Sierra Leone, where the virus has claimed hundreds of lives, to play in Abidjan. Nigeria start the defense of a title won in Soweto last year by hosting Congo-Brazzaville in Calabar, but could be barred from playing South Africa next week. FIFA want Chris Giwa removed as National Football Federation head and former incumbent Aminu Maigari reinstated by September the 8th, or a worldwide ban will kick in. Other dramas included Rwanda being barred over a dual identity player and Mali wanting a fixture moved from Algeria after Cameroonian Albert Ebuse died there when struck by a rock leaving a pitch. The qualifiers offered top-ranked African team Algeria a chance to build on a great 2014 World Cup, forcing eventual champions Germany into extra time before ending gallant 2-1 losers. Cameroon, Ghana and Ivory Coast hope to put behind them their disastrous campaigns in Brazil, with teammates fighting each other, stars sent home for indiscipline and the inevitable bonus rows. There will be notable absentees as the quest begins among 28 countries for 15 places at the 2015 tournament, with hosts Morocco automatic participants. Talismanic strikers Didier Drogba of Ivory Coast and Samuel Eto'o of Cameroon have retired as they enter the twilight of their careers, and Ghana dropped veteran midfielder Michael Essien. That leaves Ivory Coast midfielder and triple CAF Footballer of the Year title winner Yaya Toure and Togo striker Emmanuel Adebayor to lead the way until new superstars emerge. So Ivory Coast will be taking on Sierra Leone. The other clash in Group GC, Senegal go head-to-head against Egypt. Egypt are out to regain a place among the elite, having failed to qualify in 2012 and 2013 after lifting the African trophy a record 3 consecutive times. Nigeria's Super Eagles will take on the Congo on Saturday. Sudan hosts South Africa in Omdurman. Other attractive pairings include Ethiopia-Algeria in Addis Ababa, the Democratic Republic of Congo, Cameroon in Lubumbashi, and Ghana-Uganda in Kumasi.
Well, Nigeria's participation in the qualifiers will entirely depend on how they plan to respond to an ultimatum that has been issued by the World Football governing body. FIFA has said it will suspend the Super Eagles from World Football on Monday if Chris Giwa does not give up his claim to be the Football Federation president there. FIFA clearly underlined that it does not recognise the elections held on August the 26th, which saw Giwa named head of the Nigerian Football Federation. The World's Body Emergency Committee has called for the reinstatement of Aminu Maigari as president. If the ban comes into force, it will mean the end of Nigeria's involvement in the Africa Cup of Nations. The Confederation of African Football said if the Super Eagles miss their match against South Africa through suspension on Monday, Nigeria will be disqualified from the qualifying campaign. Meanwhile, Togolese captain and striker Emmanuel Adebayor, who plays his club with English Premier League side Tottenham Hotspurs, has joined the national squad as they prepare to take on Guinea in the Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers.
Togo's national football team, the Sparrow Hawks, had a pleasant surprise this week when international striker Emmanuel Adebayo unexpectedly joined its ranks for last-minute training sessions ahead of the 2015 Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers match against Guinea. The match against Guinea had been scheduled to take place in the capital Conakry, but was moved to Morocco after the deadly Ebola virus shot the West African nation. Spirits were high in Sparrow Hawks training camp after Adebayo turned up. Amewu Komlan is a midfielder in the team.
I
think everything is going well. We have the same squad. We have been playing together for a long time. We are training hard for this match, and we will see what happens.
With expectations running high in Togo for the newly appointed coach Chakala Chanile, a victory against Guinea could be all he requires to carry on for a man who had been assistant coach under former coach Didier Six. Adebayo, who has represented Togo in international encounters, promised fans a good impression in Morocco.
We will do all that is necessary to make sure that we are well prepared for CAN. It's going to be tough, but we are here to win. We face Guinea first, and then we are playing Ghana in Lome. I believe that we are ready to give it our all.
The team leaves Lome on Thursday for Morocco and will play Guinea on Saturday.
Coming up after the break on Sports News Africa. Tanzanian teams dominate the regional secondary schools basketball tournament. Born in Manchester and played for United, Danny Welbeck is now a Gunner. All that is still to come. See you after the break. Welcome back to Sports News Africa. The International Football Federation FIBA World Basketball Championship is currently underway in Spain. Angola, Egypt and Senegal have been representing the African continent, and the trio have had a mixed bag of results so far. Of the three, Senegal has been the surprise package of the tournament, whilst Egypt's campaign has been overwhelmingly disappointing.
Senegal lost 81-46 to Argentina on day 4 of the 2014 FIBA Basketball World Cup on Wednesday, but has earned a place in the round of 16 with one game left in the group phase. Thanks to 2 victories in 4 games, the West African nation will finish third in Group B if they beat the Philippines on Thursday. Senegal will take on either Spain or Brazil, depending on their result against the Philippines. Their unpredictability resurged on Wednesday after conceding a 35-point margin defeat to Argentina. Egypt's poor results at the tournament in Spain continued as they lost 88-73 to Iran on Wednesday. The Asia champions easily brushed aside the Pharaohs, winning 3 quarters out of 4. That was Egypt's 4th successive defeat after they lost their previous 3 to Serbia, Spain and France. Egypt will face Brazil on Thursday in the last day of the group stage. Angola also fell short of victory on Wednesday, losing 93-87 to undefeated Slovenia. But Yannick Moreira put forth his best offensive performance of the event. Moreira also grabbed 5 rebounds, 4 of which came on the offensive end of the floor.
Staying with basketball, and the East African Secondary Schools Games basketball finals have been contested by Lord Baden-Powell and Mokongo, which are both from the host nation Tanzania. The fact that it was an all-Tanzanian final meant that the winning side would become the first side from Tanzania to get their hands on the trophy.
Home fans in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania were treated to an epic match as Lord Baden-Powell and Mokongo, both from Tanzania, faced off in the basketball finals of the 2014 East Africa Secondary School Games. Lord Baden-Powell humbled their compatriots Mokongo 81-64 in a fiercely contested match held in Dar es Salaam. Lord Baden-Powell had previously edged out defending champions Upper Hill Secondary from Kenya 68-67 to finish first in the group stages. The team extended their campaign in the quarterfinals after they again walloped Kenyan side Friends School Kamusinga 66-48. Powell went on to thrash ETG from Burundi in a tough match 84-79 to advance to the finals. Jerome Donga said his side was elated with the victory.
I never to get this champion. So now we succeed to win. I feel happy. Yeah.
This was the first time a school team from Tanzania scooped the East African Basketball Championship.
Could this be the start of resurgence in Zimbabwean cricket? The sport has endured many highs and lows in recent years, but victory against Australia, the world's current #1 side, could herald the beginning of a new era for the country that has just hosted the Triangular Series, which included Australia and South Africa.
From the violent invasions of white-owned farms to an economy with inflation running crazy up to 1,000,000%, Zimbabwe's long history of political upheavals has not left anything intact, even the sport of cricket. In 2003, the Cricket World Cup, jointly hosted by Zimbabwe and South Africa, was disrupted by the tense political crisis between President Mugabe and the opposition, forcing several countries to pull out of the competition. The ground has since been shaky for the sport in the country. Earlier this year, in January, players staged a strike, citing months of unpaid salaries. But the situation seems to have calmed down for now, as Zimbabwe plays host to the 2014 Cricket Triangular Series, part of the Future Cricket Tour programs organized by the International Cricket Council, where Australia and South Africa are taking part in 7 one-day international matches. Head coach Stephen Mangongo said the series will help the team redeem itself on the international scene.
The series means a lot. As a country, it's important that as a cricketing nation, we are taken seriously. And you can only be taken seriously if you are playing the best in the world and you are beating the best in the world. If you are competing with the best in the world, that's the only way you earn your respect. And to us, yes, we are here as a team which wants to compete, which is work in progress, and we want to improve at each and every outing.
Zimbabwe has already beaten Australia by 3 wickets in the 4th one-day international match in a long-awaited victory after 31 years.
The future of cricket in Zimbabwe has always been bright. The Zimbabwe Cricket Union has got a very vigorous and brilliant development program, and in that it harnesses talent in all the 5 franchises in the country, and we believe that if we keep playing the game at the highest level, talent will naturally progress through our grassroots program.
The team's performance at the series, which started a week ago, has raised their optimism of reaching the finals of the Tri-Series.
Well, the chances are very open. We need to go out there and win our last game, and if we win our last game, then we've got a chance of going through into the final. And we are doing all our processes to make sure that we give ourselves a best opportunity.
Zimbabwe square off with neighbours South Africa at their 6th ODI match, which will determine which 2 teams will go to the finals on Saturday in Harare.
You're watching Sports News Africa. Time for another break now. But when we come back, dawn of a new era. Cameroon's indomitable Lions have a new look. And born in Manchester and played for United, Danny Welbeck is now a Gunner. See you after the break. Welcome back. You're watching Sports News Africa. Uganda's under-19 team has been in action in the Confederation of African Rugby tournament. Victory against Madagascar saw the Ugandans promoted to the next stage of the competition.
It was a sweet victory for Uganda's under-19 rugby team after they sent Madagascar packing in their Group 1B final match with 17-8 victory that ensured their promotion to Group 1A of the Confederation of African Rugby Tournament. The match, which was played on Saturday, August 30th at Kyadondo Rugby Grounds in Kampala, Uganda, saw Madagascar put up inspired efforts to curb the relentless Ugandans. But as the game progressed, the islanders succumbed to sustained pressure from the East Africans, who capitalized on their disarray, scoring severally. However, not to be totally outdone, Madagascar hit back, but it was not enough, because by the end of the match, they had made little dent on Uganda's 17-8 lead. The victory ensures Uganda's promotion into the Group 1A from 1B, which includes teams such as Senegal, Zambia, and Madagascar. Uganda's coach Robert Seguya said his team will be working even harder for the 2015 Junior Rugby World Cup in Portugal.
The win means a lot because we've gone to qualify for Junior Championships, which is a hard way to go, but still we're going to stick together and we're going to train together until we turn victors. It's going to be hard because you're meeting Namibia, Zimbabwe, and Kenya in that pool, where one of us will go for the World Cup. So it's still a hard way to go, and we believe with much preparation and support from everybody, we can achieve our goal.
Madagascar, on the other hand, were not ready for their loss to Uganda, having given Zambia a 43-0 resounding defeat in the semis. Their captain Venaha blamed the loss on lack of unity among the players.
The team didn't stick together. The team has not been playing well. That is why we have been losing games.
Pour notre joueur, et le ballon passe, est tombé sur la terre, mêlé.
Uganda now joins the Group 1A members, Kenya, Namibia, and Zimbabwe. Tunisia, on the other hand, has been relegated to Group 1B.
Cameroon's coach has made a major overhaul to the national squad, axing 13 members that took part in the last World Cup. Volker Finke announced to a new-look 25-man squad that will be coming up against the Democratic Republic of Congo in the Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers on Saturday.
Out with the old and in with the new. The Cameroonian national team is looking to make a fresh start with new faces coming into the fold of the squad. Cameroon is currently training for the African qualifier fixture against the Democratic Republic of Congo in Lubumbashi before they host the Ivory Coast on Wednesday.
Avec le nouveau départ des Lions, ça c'est clair.
With this new start for the Lions, it's clear. I've already explained this once or twice to the media, that there was no choice after 2 World Cups like that. You have to turn the page. Now it's got to be a different generation of players, because you've got to know that in football, it's like that. There are days and certain moments, and you just have to start afresh.
Cameroon had a disastrous World Cup campaign in Brazil, losing all 3 of its Group A clashes. This at the back of a strike by squad members over payments for taking part.
I think we've got a lot of work to do, and from our side, the players, we trust our technical staff. If they've invited certain players here, that means they have potential skills to bring to the national side. I think that with these skills, if we work as a team, we know we don't have any Messi here, we don't have any Ronaldo, we know we have Cameroon players, and we will fight together. And I am convinced that, with that, we have the potential to qualify.
England forward Danny Welbeck has risked antagonising supporters of his former club, Manchester United, on Wednesday, after admitting that he envisaged playing for Arsenal even before joining them.
A Manchester-born United fan, Welbeck graduated through the youth ranks at Old Trafford, but was allowed to join Arsenal on Monday for a fee of around $26.6 million.
Yeah, it's obviously it's exciting times for me now, and it's great to obviously be a part of this club, and it's a team that I've always always watched in the Premier League and thought I've envisaged myself playing in this team before, and for it to finally happen, it's very, very exciting, as I said before.
Figures associated with United have expressed dismay over the club's decision to sell a young homegrown player such as Welbeck. Former United midfielder David Beckham said that he was sad to see Welbeck leave, while Mike Phelan, the former assistant manager to Alex Ferguson, claimed the club's identity had been broken. But Welbeck, 23, faced increased competition for places after United signed Radamel Falcao on loan from Monaco on transfer deadline day, and he said that joining Arsenal was the right move for his career.
Yeah, I believe the style of play that the manager's got the boys playing, and obviously with the magnificent players in and around them, the midfield, slotting balls through, I feel like I can be running onto the end of them balls, slotting the ball away. Yeah, it went right down to the wire in the end. It's obviously difficult to say how I felt at the times of the day, and because the deal was on, the deal was off, but at the end of the day, I'm an Arsenal player, and I couldn't be any happier at the moment.
And that's the end of Sports News Africa for today. Join us again tomorrow when we bring you all the latest from Africa and around the world. Bye for now.